to Ecomminsiders podcast. My name is Debbie, and this event is being sponsored by SPCTEK. Today's topic is optimizing product listings for higher conversions, and my guest is David Tomer. He's an Amazon seller, a seven-figure Amazon FBA seller who started in 2019. He has successfully sold one of his brands in 2022 for nearly $2 million. He's now focused on scaling and exiting another brand for eight figures. His passion is building and scaling Amazon FBA brands. David, welcome.
Thank you very much for the introduction and having me here in the podcast. And yeah, I'm very excited to go over some stuff and help sellers optimize their listings.
Well, I can tell you this is the time of the year that everybody is really wanting to make sure that they have their listings as optimized and ready for conversion as possible. So, will you walk me through your journey of just starting and growing an Amazon business?
Yeah, so I became an Amazon seller after being in the e-commerce space for many, many years. I was in the jewelry business and we were own manufacturers of jewelry. So it was very, very demanding business, and I was looking for something that is scalable that I can do remotely without having the need to manage like people like physically or factory or stuff like that. So that's when I started to explore Amazon FBA, and I just started with it and build it up slowly until it became profitable enough for me to leave what I did before and just focus on this full time. And since then, I like you mentioned, I sold the brand that I started with, and then. I started another brand, and now we are actually acquiring also brands to save time and scale quicker.
Oh, well, I have to tell you, I'm familiar somewhat with the jewelry industry. I worked with a bench jeweler for many years as a designer.
Okay,
So I know that is a tough business.
yes,
Yeah.
it's tough, and you have to manage the employees, make sure they give you all this dust, the gold, and the cameras and security and diamonds. You
Uh-huh.
know how it is. It's very a lot of pressure and stress.
Yeah, I actually was in a jewelry store once when it was held up at gunpoint.
So, yeah. Oh my God, this is.
Yeah.
But
So, so
yeah,
yeah, you kind of want to get into something where you don't have to worry about that type of stuff. Tell
yeah.
me, what do you think was your proudest moment and your biggest achievement as an Amazon seller? I mean, when did you really say to yourself, wow?
So naturally, I would say when I sold the company, but to be honest, this is not the moment that I said, wow, I'm so proud of myself. I think the moment that I said, wow, I'm so proud is after years starting this, because I set a goal to make $10,000 in profit within a year when I just started. And when I achieved it exactly, it was amazing. But it was exactly a year after, and I checked the numbers and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this just happened. So that was really for me the biggest moment. Um,
Uh,
and since then, I knew that, I can set up goals and grow bigger, and it's up to you and your vision and dream.
what do you think are some of the most common challenges that you encountered as an Amazon seller? And how do you overcome those?
For me, the biggest challenge is that it's not something that predictable. It's not that you do X, you get like Y. You always have doubts especially when launching new products. It's never easy, and it's never something that you have that confident that, okay, I'm launching this and it's gonna work. You always have this fear, doubt whether it's gonna work or not until this moment. Like even this year, we had a lot of products that failed, but it's just part of the business, and part what you do.
Yeah, now we talked at the beginning of the show about the fact that conversion rate right now seems to be a very popular topic, and for a very good reason. I mean, there's a lot of revenue that's going to change hands in the next month. What role do you think that the title length and the structure of the title play in improving your conversion rates?
So as far as conversions, I think the title is important, but it's not the main influence for conversions. It's more for SEO, or maybe just the beginning of the title could potentially help with CTR and not really with conversion. It's what people actually see before they get into your listing. After they are in your listing, that's when they convert. So it doesn't really play a big factor in conversions. It's more really to attract people, to improve your CTR. But yeah, it's a combination. It's more helpful for SEO to get those indexing and rankings.
So then, would you say that the product image probably has a bigger impact on your conversion rates?
So yeah, so the main image play kind of a similar role to the first, like the title. It just of course a much bigger one than the title, because that's the biggest thing that people actually like following or deciding when they see a listing whether to click on it or not. But it also play a conversion thing, because some people they just look at the main image and they just buy. A lot of people actually, including me, and I'm sure that maybe you just sometimes you just go to a listing, just look at it, oh, that's what I need, and you buy. So if your main image does a good job explaining what the product will quick, yes, it can influence the conversion rate big time. Yeah.
What do you think are some of the key factors that make people look at that first main image and click?
So it's something that is very individual, and it depends also on your competitors. So if your image just look like everyone else, then your CTR people might not click on you, and or just they're gonna start now looking and comparing prices. But even if your price higher, but your image stands out and it's really unique and popping up, like then it you have the chance of grabbing it. So it really like you have to really optimize it, compare to your to the other search results that come up for the search terms that you're people are searching for. So but I would say that colors play a big factor,
Yes.
and also how you utilize the space that you got. You have a lot of, like, not a lot, but you have limited amount of space. Try to maximize the element. If your product looks smaller compared to others, it's not a good thing. So make it bigger, maximize the space, and obviously colors play a big role.
Now let's say that they do click through. How important do you think it is that they have multiple images to look at if they click through to the actual listing?
So obviously it's now a must, because everyone having side images, so you need to have whatever Amazon allowing you to add, which is 5 if you have video. So yeah, it's also very, very important, and you have to look at the side images as another way to expand your product. You're limited with what you can show, and people don't really read the bullets or the other things. So your images, your side images, is really your way to show how your product is unique and different, or better value. Sometimes it's the same value, but you need to just add some elements to make it look better than what it is, or stand out. So it's very important to really understand your product and and
So,
and deliver that message.
in addition to the main image, what types of images do you usually recommend that you would include in your listing?
So again, it's something individual, but you could say that it should really, every picture you should look at it on how you can highlight your value that you give. So if you're, for example, let's say everyone in your category is selling a product for $30 and you're selling it for $50, you need to explain the audience, the visitors, the buyers, why it's worth $50. That's your job to do it. Or if you're selling like everyone, then you have to really make sure that you improve the conversion. You touch those things that burning for them, like why they are buying this product, and try to give them the benefits that they will have from the product. So it really depends on what your situation in the category. So for example, we like to sell the highest in the category, in every category that we sell. So we try to really, through the side images, the secondary images, to explain how and why our product is more premium and a better quality, and why they should really buy it, and not always focus maybe on price. So it really depends on your strategy and what your product is. But the idea is to really explain and give them the feeling that you know why they're buying this product, and really, touch those points for them. So it's, at the end of the day, it's emotion and brain, right? It's more
Yeah,
emotional
yeah.
decision for people, but you want to have a little also brain decision. Like, okay, so for example, you sell like, I don't know, like a cotton glove. Okay, so you want also to touch those people that think with their brain by having that. Okay, our glove is 300 GSM, which is how you measure the thickness of a glove. So they also, you give them some measurements compared to others, maybe they're 200. So you try to combine it, but it's a more emotional. You want to touch the emotion, so they look at it and they say, "This will heal my I don't know, my hands." So like, maybe not writing it, but you give them the feeling, and then they say, "I need this product." Like, they become impulsive buyers.
Yes. So, how can a seller kind of balance their key? Because I think a lot of sellers spend a lot of time on the keyword optimization, and they're really working on creating the engaging product description and stuff like that. What do you think that is really the focus for the keywords? I mean, how do you write persuasive product descriptions?
Yeah, yeah. So it's very important to use the customer language, and one easy way to do it is by looking at reviews on your competitors,
Mm,
seeing how,
yeah.
what kind of terms and titles people used in their reviews, and then you get into the same language of the persona that actually buys it. So if you use similar phrases, and look, for example, if it's teenagers or 18 years old, women buying this product, you want to use their language, their slang, that kind of phrases, and that will create these better conversions.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's always a tough balance between stuffing as many keywords and search terms, and also make it readable and conversion, like copyright,
Yeah.
and it's always a balance. So it's always a fight, between the SEO to the copywriter, but a good copywriter should combine them both. So we have a couple of
Yeah.
approaches. We do some of the listings, some we outsource. It really depends on the actual product.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we understand that the keywords are important because of the search component of
Yes,
Amazon, but the persuasion part for anybody who's looking through it and reading it, I think addressing the point of view language, like you said, is so important. Especially today with a lot of people using AI to write it. If the
yes,
AI isn't writing in the right voice,
yes, yes.
it's
You can
not going to
tweak it.
help you.
You can tweak it, but yes, AI comes in, and I think actually from a seller point of view, it's not that great, because I think that we used to have advantage over Chinese sellers before, and now this
Mhm.
gap shrinked because they have AI tools. So I don't know if it's good or not, but at the end of the day, it also makes some people lazy. So there is always opportunity,
Yeah, yeah,
just make you do a better job. But we have to really pay attention to Rufus, the new AI shopping assistant by Amazon, because now also our images has to be very, very clear. We can just stuff million elements. The picture needs to be clear enough for an AI to understand what your product is. And if you understand it easier, it's also going to help you with Rufus
mm,
search results. And this is something new that people need to pay attention to, and tweak their images and their text, but it's more for the images to be readable to a bot. And there are a couple of tools that you upload the picture and it tells you what is the product, gives you a
yeah.
description of it. So people can just upload it, use it, and see, okay, is that description matched to my product? If not, they have to make it a little more clear.
Yeah, you touched briefly on this, and I want you to expound a little bit, but the role of price point in the product and how sellers can actually use price for maximum impact.
Yes.
Because you don't
So
have to be the cheapest.
no, I always try not to be the cheapest. And if I can sell high, still, it means that I have a really good offer. But it's really comes down to what's your value. Are your actual, like you, do you provide value that's worth people paying more, and how you can actually show it. So this actually, it's not an easy thing. And like I said, we had failures this year, and last year, and it always happened because it's never easy to know how the market will react to your offer based on surveys and stuff like that. But I think the key to maximize your like your profits and sell the highest in the category is to run a couple of surveys asking people whether the addition or the feature that you have over the like compared to your competitors is worth the money or they appreciate it enough. So it's you can break it down to a couple of surveys before with Peakful and
Mhm.
other tools, and
Yeah.
but not just ask them like the whole like my product is better. No, just try to focus on your features and try to have a bigger audience, and this will help you have a better predictability whether you can sell it higher or not. But it's never really like you never know until you actually launch it.
Yeah. Well, and I always think it's really a good idea to read the reviews of your competitors
Yes,
because a lot of times they'll give you an idea of what people think is missing in that product. And if you hit that, then you definitely want to make sure that you highlight that. Um,
100%. Yeah, I agree
how
with.
often do you adjust pricing?
So usually during the launch phase, we optimize our pricing. So obviously we start low and then we start to increase it. We basically try to increase it until we see our conversion drop to a point that it's not really going to help our organic rankings. Because at the end of the day, if your price is so high, then your conversion drop, then your organic rankings drop. So we
Yeah.
money comes with the organic rankings. We look at PPC as a way to really push those sales that will support the organic rankings. But if your conversion drop to a point that it's really low compared to the category, then you lose those organic rankings. So we have to reduce the price. So we try to find this balance.
Yeah, finding that sweet spot.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
it's
And I
usually
think,
around that time, and then we stop optimizing.
a lot of people who maybe are just getting into Amazon don't understand seller ranking and how important that can be. And that's the reason why you have to find that spot where you still have a good velocity of sales,
Exactly.
but your price is where you want it to be so that you can be profitable.
That's
Let's
true.
talk a little bit about shipping. Are you shipping typically FBA?
Yes, all of our products are FBA. Like I told you, I didn't want to have headaches or pack or ship or do anything like that. So yes, we're focused on FBA only.
And so then when you're using FBA, of course, you have to be really careful about your inventory, how frequently you're getting it in there so that you don't get excessive FBA charges and stuff like that. Now they're even charging for, old inventory and stuff like that at a higher rate. So how do you kind of figure out, how much should we be sending into FBA and how do you figure that all out?
Yeah, so this is like an art. You have to really take a lot of touch points and really try to get as many, like as many data points you can and get the decision. But by a lot of forecasting, a lot of previous year, also last 30 days, we use tools to help us, forecast. But it's really, really important. This alone, it could be like just 50% of your success because
Yeah.
now Amazon also provides faster shipping times if you have a closer inventory to you. So the more inventory you have by Amazon, the better conversion rate that you will have. So we also take this in consideration and we send more inventory than what we actually need because we know it improves our organic rankings and conversion. Why? Because, for example, let's say I live in Boca Raton in Florida, and let's say there is a warehouse here, and there is a warehouse and there is 100 units of my products, I will see a same day delivery because the proximity to me and the inventory availability that I have in Boca. But if I just have like 1,000 units, obviously it's not enough to being spread all over the US. But if I have 20,000, it's increased the chance that Amazon will actually have this inventory distributed across or much more locations, which in return will improve the delivery times and increase the conversions. Because if I would see the same exact offer for one product, $30, picture good, this everything is good. But this one I see 2-day delivery. This one I see one day delivery or same day, most likely I will buy the one day delivery, right? And the same day
Yeah.
delivery. So improve the organic rankings, improve. And also, by the way, Amazon will put you higher in the search results for your zip code if it has more inventory here. So people have to really look at inventory, not just from the point of view of how much they be charged, because like just this month we've been charged like maybe $20,000 just for storage fees. But we're okay with that because we know that it will make our business, very like it's worth it.
David, thank you. That's a really good point that especially new sellers do not think about sometimes, is that allowing Amazon to have enough inventory to put on the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, and different places can actually benefit you in conversion. I think that's really important. You're sharing a lot of, you can tell you're a veteran seller because you're sharing really some in-depth knowledge that newer Amazon sellers may not be aware of. Let's talk a little bit about listing compliances with maybe regulations or platform guidelines. Do you sell anything that you have to be worried about? You know, what kind of keywords you're putting in there, anything like that?
Yes, so we have a toys brand, and it requires a lot of like testing and compliance before you launch, after you launch, and because of all of these compliance issues, we technically are about to shut down this brand.
Mm,
It's lucrative, but it's not worth the headaches, the liability, and the all what comes around that. It just it's not worth it, in my opinion. I mean, to me, some people, it might make sense for them. Someone that is really really passionate about toys might be worth it, and it can tolerate this compliance and all of this. For me, it just was too much, too many things. Sometimes I'll give you an example of a product that we had everything in the Amazon required as far as the CPIC tests, whatever they wanted. We send the products to labs. We were selling it for 3 years. Everything is good. One day Amazon woke up and said this product is not allowed to be sold anymore. That's it. They just shut it down like that, and they just give you like 20 days to get all your inventory out, and you're stuck with thousands of units. You know what? This is very annoying situation and costly, and so people need to know that all these things before. Do your research, try to see what kind of compliance Amazon is asking you to provide, and try to
yeah.
ask people, is it worth it, because they can come to you and either remove it or tell you that they need another test, or yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially if you're having your product manufactured, that you are doing your research into the factory that's doing the manufacturing and stuff. Do they have the right certifications and stuff? SPCTEK, we actually specialize in helping people get their accounts reinstated. And I can't tell you how many people, like you said, been selling for a couple of years, no problems. All of a sudden, Amazon comes up. Now they want these certifications. The factory doesn't provide those certifications and stuff, and they've lost their living,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's
Um, so, how do you know when it's time for you to do an update on a product listing? Like, how do you determine that it's necessary maybe to relook at it? Or how often are you looking at those descriptions and stuff?
So this is something I think that should be done every quarter. To tell you that we're doing it every quarter, I'm gonna lie. But we try to, which we're trying to really, at least it's look, it's at the end of the day, it's the 20/80. You want to really put your 20% on those 80 like percent like listings that give you the money, right? So we
Mhm.
try to focus on our best sellers and try to optimize them regularly. These are listings that I would say that we do it quarterly. Some listings no, because the time that I put here, I can put it on the bestseller and get much more returns on it, right?
Yeah.
So, but this is never stopping process. You always have to improve your listing, your main image, your title. It's mainly the main image, side
Yeah.
images
Okay.
also, but and the A plus and all of those, but I would say that the main image is the one thing that we try to optimize, like we test and fixing and improving all the time.
So, have you ever had your stock levels or your product availability actually hurt you in your sales?
Yeah, we just actually bought a brand and it was doing great, but when we bought it, it was out of stock.
Mm,
Um, we thought it's not gonna impact anything, but it actually did. So yeah, being out of stock, it's something that is not nice, and you know, it hurts your sales and it hurts your organic rankings. But one tip I can give is don't try to really slow down your conversion rate by increasing the price so high to a point that okay, you know that you're going to buy out of stock, right? So what a lot of people doing, they're increasing the price. They say at least I know I'm going to be out of stock. Let me maximize my profits. It's not really a great idea because your conversion drops, and then that's the last thing that Amazon remember for a product. It remember it
mm,
declining. When you come back from to stock, that's the point that you remember you, because how Amazon algorithm works, it really check your conversion rate, and based on that give you up and down. So the higher conversion rate lifts you. You can see it immediately on your rankings. So if you give him a signal, okay, it's down, when you come back to stock, you're also going to be down. You want to
mm,
start high. So it's better to be out of stock, but you finish strong. And then when you come back to stock, you come back from that point,
mm.
from Amazon.
Yeah,
So
that's
two tools that,
great point.
yeah.
Great point. How do you use promotions and discounts in your product listings to actually help you with conversions, but not really hurt profitability?
It's also a really fine line, but coupons are a big strategy for us. Every listing that we have coupon. Some 5% is enough, some 20%. It's what we need. And we see like difference when we reduce the coupon or remove the coupon. You see the CTR and the conversion is not as great as with it. So this is something very important. Now people are also more sensitive to, when I see a listing with coupon, maybe before people would ignore it. Now they actually pay attention and they look for those listing with coupons to save this extra money. So it's very important to have coupon and test it. Like anything that I'm saying or you hear somewhere, test it on your listing. Every business is different. And
Yeah.
when you test, you know your business better. When you see something and you say, okay, it's not just based on feeling. It's based, I know I did this, I'm getting that. It will give you better control, better confidence in your business, and the ability to obviously scale it more.
So, as an individual seller, what tools do you think that you should use to track and optimize your product listings to make sure that you're continuously improving profitability and everything that you need to?
Yeah, so we use a lot of tools actually, and I look at tools on a way to actually this tool gonna help me make more money, then it's a good tool. If it's just a little bit, maybe, also you can get lost with so many tools. So
Yeah.
obviously Helium 10, it's a tool that, I think it's a must for product research and checking out things. Also, we use their alerts tool, which helps you get notifications in case your price is change or hijackers come or your listing is off. It's a great tool. We use Datarova for rankings to check our positions. uh, we use also data dive. We use other tools for ppc management. We always try to find new tools that can make our job better or get advantage over our competitors.
Yeah, we were having a conversation in the office the other day about the fact that all of these new AI tools that are flooding the market are making it so difficult to really kind of know which ones are effective, which ones are good, which ones can help you and stuff. And it's just crazy right now.
It
It's
is.
like, you're getting 10 an hour of, oh, this is new and use this and this. And so I think
You have to
sometimes you have
also learn how these
to.
tools work. This takes a lot of time. It can get you out of your routine and focus. We have to be focused. That's the most important skill, I think, between those that actually like win on Amazon and not.
So, David, what's your website if people just wanted to go and check you out?
It's sourcing-monster.com, and I also have a channel on YouTube called Sourcing Monster that I share. Lately, I'm just focused on sharing what works and what doesn't, and also some news on what's going on with Amazon. So,
Oh, good.
I think it can help any seller. Just follow the channel.
Yeah, okay. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today on Ecom Insiders, sponsored by SPC Tech. Today, of course, our guest, David Tomer, very successful Amazon seller. If you have questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's session, please subscribe to get some of our future editions and, of course, like it. Thank you so much, David, for giving us some great advice today.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for having me, and I hope to be on the podcast again in the future.
All right. Thank you.